Kia ora guys, girls, NMB pals. I'm a trans girl and I have a big saw. Yeah, that's right, you better run. I'm actually here in North Auckland to collect some wood from your man, Grove. Here we are in the Oriwa estuary, and along this small stream run countless manawa or white mangrove trees. These are the only species of mangrove in New Zealand. Mangrove is not a monophyletic term, it simply refers to trees which live in the intertidal zone, specifically the ones that live lower in the intertidal zone. There are a few other species that live in the upper intertidal zone, and you'll notice they have these root snorkels effectively that allow them to breathe when they are completely inundated with water. Now, why am I here to collect wood from your man, Grove? Well, you'll see after I've collected some wood. Now, alongside the mangroves in this environment, we also have this tree here, which is called Brazilian pepper tree. This is highly invasive here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and so I'm going to cut off a piece of this tree's wood as well, because the person I'm cutting the wood for hasn't used the timber from this tree before. I've also just spotted this Osteospermum moniliferum, which is another invasive shrub, so I'm going to collect some wood from this too. Update, so it turns out manawa seems to have some kind of special relationship with ants. All of the branches have these holes running through them, which thousands of these tiny ants, I'm not really sure what species they are, have been coming out. And I have actually seen this on every single mangrove branch that I've collected, and these things have stung my hand to pieces. Okay, so final result of my wood cutting is we have one chunky mangrove branch, which I keep finding more ants in, so hopefully they're all gone by now. One smaller mangrove branch, hopefully Rowie can make a wand from that. One pepper tree branch, which again, hopefully we can make a wand from. Another pepper tree branch, and a piece of Osteospermum moniliferum, which again, hopefully you could make a wand from, but it's a bit small, so well. Okay, so I've just found this huge Sydney golden wattle tree at the edge of the estuary. Sydney golden wattle is really interesting because unlike most acacias, they have actually lost their leaves. These structures which look like leaves are actually phyllodes, which is basically the stem that leads into the leaf. You'll see if you see true acacias that their leaves are bipinnate and look like this. Anyway, I've just collected a reasonably sized branch from this tree. So let's head on down to Christchurch and see why I'm collecting this wood. You join me now with friend of the channel and wood carver extraordinaire, Rowie Utting, who is the amazingly talented person who's going to be doing things with the wood that I provided. And in one case, has done something with the wood that I provided. So let's have a look at what Rowie has done with the wood that I collected.
This is the wand I've carved in the time since. It is made of Sydney golden wattle, and I've modelled it after the Australoveneta claw, and it has theropod trackway on it.
Yeah, and you said that theropod trackway was based on a trackway that's been attributed to Australoveneta from the same sort of time and place, is that right?
It's from Lark Quarry trackway site. There was actually a scientific study on reconstructing the range of movement of Australoveneta's foot, and then, you know, comparing it with an emu, which muscles did how much work, and recalculating the range of movement of bones compared to muscles, and rebuilt the Australoveneta foot and tested it in sediment matching the actual Lark Quarry site.
That's so cool. And was it, I'm assuming it like seemed to match pretty well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the most caught up on how Yeah.
That's totally cool. I'm actually, like, for anyone who doesn't know, Australovenator was an early Cretaceous theropod that is generally considered to belong to the Megaraptoran group, which are nowadays usually considered to be coelurosaurs, most closely related to the Tyrannosauroids, though there is still some argument to be made that they might be Allosauroids related to Neovenator. They're a really cool group that I was going to make a video about, and then Benji Thomas made a really good video about, and I was like, do I need to bother making this anymore? Maybe I still will if people are interested. So do you want to tell us a bit about how you made this?
Right, so to carve it, I started by peeling the bark off the bill of wood, and I have a carving kit here, which I tend to have with me, of various knives and tools for carving. Pouches I've made for knives I use a lot, and just sort of shaping the wood down, seeing the patterns in it, because it was standing dead, spalted timber, and that gives it these beautiful patterns in the wood.
So spalting is a texture that arrives as a result of fungus invading the wood. It's actually kind of interesting because this species of wattle is a part of the clade that lost their true leaves and replaced them with phyllodes, which are the base part of the leaf, the petiole, but the petiole has widened and effectively taken the role of the niche. Of the leaf, sorry. I don't actually know why this has evolved in so many species of wattle, but I had this in the wattle in my family's garden back in the UK, where like a piece of the tree died, and that piece of the tree had all of this sort of black running through the wood. It looked really interesting, and you could very much see that in this Sydney golden wattle. For anyone who doesn't know, Sydney golden wattle is a quite invasive weed in northern New Zealand around estuarine sites and on sand dunes. So I wasn't causing any harm to nature by cutting this piece of tree off.
And it was already dead.
And it was already dead. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing what you make with the rest of the wood that I've collected. And do you want to sort of show off something that you've been making that relates to a future video I'm working on? It's in the garage. Okay, we are now in the garage.
So here I have 2 test eggs from birch that have been dyed with spirit stain. A woodworker in, I believe, Norway uses birch and spirit stain a lot. This is the raw birch which I'll be shaping. There's some more in the red zone I wish to harvest from a dead tree. And the spirit stain is wonderful stuff that fucking stays put on your fingers for ages.
Okay, now, those of you who are watching are probably wondering, what on earth does any of this have to do with the kinds of topics I normally talk about on the channel? And why on earth is my woodworking friend making some wooden eggs? Well, to find that out, you'll have to check out our next video, which is all about dinosaur eggs. Okay, that's it.
I didn't know what to say.
That's fine.